Face it, we live in a world that is wired, where technology and electronics rule. So imagine if the precious wires to the well-oiled machine we call modern society were just cut. Could we survive without mass communications? Could we function without electricity? Director David Koepp has taken that powerful premise to heart in his new movie, The Trigger Effect, starring Dermot Mulroney, Hyle MacLachlan, and Elisabeth Shue. Launch is here to tell you all about it in our own high-tech way, but you better watch it now, because you never know and everything could just go black.
When you think of blackout, it's sort of a fun 3 or 4 hours where you don't get to do anything, everything shuts down, and so hey, it's vacation, you know, and that's great, but when it starts to go on day after day, and things become more difficult, you remove all of those comforts, and you see how people react.
I'm not a looter, Joe. I took what I took to fill a specific need.
So the guy that took the TV.
TV's not a necessity.
It is if you sell it for food, Matt.
David Koepp, who directed this movie, has written or co-written everything from Jurassic Park to Mission Impossible. He wrote this movie after seeing a series of documentaries by James L. Burke.
The show in general examines this, but this one in particular, how our dependence on technology has grown over the years. And while it has technology has allowed the human race to flourish, we've also become increasingly dependent. And a blackout is the most dramatic illustration of what happens when those things that we rely on are just removed and we're left to our own devices.
As the blackout drags on, Elisabeth Shue's character, a good wife and mother, gets a little crazy. Relations with husband Matt, played by Hyle MacLachlan, start to go sour.
Through the movie, she kind of uncovers these deeper desires that she's kind of stuffed down and crosses some lines and goes too far at one point.
Get away from me. Come on, get out of here. Come on.
Matt, how much butter do we have? It's all melted.
This is not my beautiful wife.
The breakdown in their little family is just a microcosm of the blackout's impact on wider society.
Yeah, and everyone separates themselves. Everyone has to protect their own home. There's not this feeling of, we're all in this together. There's one huge scene at the end that gets very dramatic where this crazy guy is holding us up with a gun and he's like shooting, he's going to shoot the baby and me, and that kind of feeling of fear becomes very intense.
You got any room in there? You see, you really would be saving my life.
Everyone gets really suspicious and paranoid in this movie.
I try to take a page from Roman Polanski's book whenever I can. He was able to make the audience as curious about the conspiracy as the characters were.
It's pretty hard to imagine what actually would happen if an electronic meltdown stopped modern society in its tracks, but working on The Trigger Effect did give the actors a chance to reflect about what might occur.
You know there'd be mayhem, for sure. I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't do is go buy a shotgun. That I would not do.